This is from my files of people will believe anything. My last video, I talked about how when I was an instructor, you had orientation for the class. When you first met them, how first impressions last. Okay, I didn't say that, but that's what happened, right? I gave a first impression about an instructor, and it lasted. I picked up a class one time, and I'm in the orientation, and I'm giving them the spiel, explaining things. I explained to them that, in my experience, students pretty much will believe anything. And they said, "What are you talking about?" Well, let me give you some background. These students had just finished 16 weeks of basic electricity and electronics. Some real basic stuff. They understood electricity, how it flowed through wires, the fact that magnetism can create voltages in wires. And so I told them, I says, well, I taught one class one time, and I explained to them how they had this new watch out, and whenever you cross the time zones, that it goes forward or backwards 1 hour, depending upon which way you cross. Because the time zones aren't set randomly. You can see they go, all over the United States because they follow iron core deposits in the earth. And those are the magnetic lines of flux are strongest in the earth. So your watch can sense when you cross over that line. And it either goes forward or it goes backwards 1 hour, depending upon which direction you cross. Now this is obvious bullshit. And my class says, there's no way people would believe that. You're making it up. It's alright. You're right. Probably not you guys. It was probably just those other people. 5 weeks later, I'm teaching magnetic core theory, which way back when was the way we stored ones and zeros in case of a power loss. Alright? Sort of like flash memory is now. You lose power, you still have stuff in your SD card. Same thing then, except we had little magnetic cores that we stored them in. So I'm explaining this, and I'm into magnetism, explaining how magnetism generates electricity, etc., etc. And I go into my watch spiel. The same spiel I just automatically go into. It's a bullshit story that just breaks the ice a little bit and gives their brains a rest. And I explained about this watch, that depending upon which way you go across the time zone, the magnetic lines of flux in the earth are such that the watch automatically goes forward or backwards. And I had people in that class, the same class I told in the very first day about this, students will believe anything. I had people saying, no, it's true. I heard about this before. Or, I think I saw this on TV, or I read a report on it, or, no, he's telling the truth. I had a couple people in the back that were, chattering away, trying to figure out whether they should bet me or not, because every class I had, I would bet them all the time, because I liked getting free Diet Cokes. They would always say, let's up the ante. Let's make this real money. I said, no, I can't do that, because if I bet you real money, then I'm going to take your money. You're going to fail the test. You're going to go to the Academic Review Board. And you're going to say, oh, I failed the test because I took all my money and I couldn't concentrate on the test. Whoa, pitiful me. So I never bet money, but I did bet Diet Coke. So I had a couple people in the back that were trying to figure out whether they should bet me. They weren't sure. But 75% of the class was convinced. They remember reading about it or hearing it somewheres, and they were sure that it was true. I had one girl in the front who was just laughing her ass off. She was 28 years old. She was coming in from another rate. She wasn't a kid anymore. She was actually my brightest student, and she knew exactly where all of them had heard this before. I just laughed. I laughed so hard because I told them day one that people will believe anything. And then 5 weeks later, I drove home the point. Now, I don't think they ran into somebody that would set up a story and wait 5 weeks to finish it. But it was, God, even now, I just split a gut thinking about it because it is so freaking hilarious. Well, anyway, that's from my People Will Believe Anything files. Hope you liked it. Have a great day.